Now, the human body is disintegrating high up over our heads, disintegrating not from harm or sickness, but just from floating. For those of you who do not know me yet, my name is Asia White, and I am a biology major aiming towards dental school. As a biology major, pre-dental student, I've spent a lot of time learning about how the human body functions, and that interest has led me to examine how the body upholds in a place where it is never meant to be, which is outer space. I've always been interested with space, and being a biology major, I was eager to discover a topic that would connect my enthusiasm for space with what I am learning about the human body. The effect of space flight on a human body relates to my pre-dental and health science education, since it is generally psychologically systems that are affected, and it illustrates how the environment can have such a big influence on a human body. Now, as NASA actively prepares for a mandated trip to Mars that may last 2 to 3 months, 2 to 3 years, it is important to understand these fundamental changes. The human body's muscular, ocular, cardiovascular, and skeletal system all reflects the impacts of long duration space flights. To clarify this, I will talk about how space affects the bones, muscles in the heart, blood vessels, and the eyes. To start, I will tell you about the space flights and how it affects bones and muscles. The bones that bear weight, such as those of the hips and spines, normally hold up the weight of the body. Those bones lose the function in microgravity and begin to lose density. On 4 to 6 month trips, astronauts can lose 1 to 1.5% of their bone density per month, predictions NASA's Bone and Mineral Evaluation and Analysis Laboratory. This pace of bone loss can increase a risk of fractures and premature osteoporosis development in its crew members. The longer the trip, the more muscle mass and strength are lost. This is a crucial conclusion of the 2019 NASA twin studies, which compared astronaut Scott Kelly to his identical twin on Earth. So, astronauts on an international space station have to work out very hard every day using a special exercise machine built just for microgravity. Now, I will tell you about how spaceflight affects the heart and blood vessels. NASA's twin studies conclude that extended exposure to the microgravity causes enlargement of the left ventricle of the heart, thickening of the carotid artery wall. These are comparable to the atherosclerotic intolerance, which many astronauts describe as a sense of dizziness or lightheadedness when they stand up again after returning back to Earth's gravity. Peak oxygen consumption is also far lower on the longer term trips, indicating that the cardiovascular system has adapted to the lower energy requirements in space, scientists say. As the impacts on the bones and muscles, these effects are magnified along with how long the mission is. Now, I will talk about the effects of space flights on the eyesight. Some astronauts get a disorder called spaceflight associated neuroocular syndrome, or SANS. It was first formally reported in 2011. SANS may include swelling of the optic nerve, flattening the back of the eye, and a shift towards farness side. Almost half of the astronauts on long duration missions have compromised near vision, compared with fewer longer than a quarter of those on short voyages, according to Dr. Thomas Matter in his studies. Symptoms of SANS can show up as early as 3 weeks into the trip, and as some astronauts have remained longer, they've returned to Earth. NASA says SANS is one of the main health challenges to a possible journey to Mars. Okay, so now that we talked about space and how it affects the body, I've always assumed that astronauts being hauled from their spacecraft after landing, unable to get up on their own, was simply just for the television. But now, me and you both know why. It causes profound changes in the skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, and visual symptoms. The longer the travel, the more profound the consequences. We have talked about the impact of space flights on the bones and muscles, the heart, and blood vessels of the eye. It's not simply if we can go to Mars, but if our bodies can make the journey. Thank you all for listening.